This is Andi Purewal for Boxing Social, and I'm delighted to be joined by heavyweight and former world champion Lucas Browne. Lucas, how are you?
Very good, mate. Thank you.
It's good to hear. How have you found your time in England since you've been back over?
Very good. The weather's been great, so yeah, it's been great so far.
I was going to say, you brought the warm weather with you.
Yeah, well and truly, so I'm very happy about that.
Obviously, we're only a couple of days away now from your fight with Dave Allen. A big fight for both of you at this stage of your careers. Just talking about how your preparations have gone in camp.
Well, since the Dylan White fight, a lot has had to change, and it has. I've had 3 fights since, 3 wins, so very happy with all the way it's all gone. Preparation's been perfect, so I'm very happy with where I'm at.
What are you preparing for in Dave Allen, in the sense that when we've seen his posts that he's put on social media, he seems to be taking this camp very seriously and taking this fight very seriously. People are saying it's the best shape he's been in throughout his career. What are you expecting from Dave on Saturday night?
Basically, what you can always expect from Dave is a nice, hard person that's just going to stay there in front of you and keep throwing punches. So it's not going to be an easy night in any way for me. It's going to be a long night, and I think there's going to be a bit of blood and a bit of ooh and ah from the crowd.
Is this one of those fights where it can only work out in that manner? It won't be something that we'll just see you both just standing there just trying to jab and just working around the ring and not really getting involved?
To be honest, I don't know. It depends on how he comes out, and I'll react to that. But definitely, I want to keep my distance when I can. But there's definitely going to be major moments where we're just going to stand there and trade, yeah.
Will Dave bring anything that you haven't had to face previously?
I can't see how he will, to be honest. He's pretty much the way he fights is the way he fights, you know what I mean? So we'll see how it goes on the night.
Talk about your ambitions in boxing. You know, you've reached your 40 now. What are you still looking to achieve? Is world title still on your mind?
By all means. To be honest, I've still got a lot to give. I think there's, in my short career, I've done a lot, but there's a lot more to do. You know, so as long as I make some good money, have some good fights as well, and leave on a good note, I'll be happy with that.
Something I was going to bring up. You mentioned you want to leave with a bit of money so that you can set yourself up for life after boxing. How important is that for yourself? Even though you do want those big fights, you also need to look at the financial side.
Yeah, well, the big fight's been financial as well. So the last 3 fights have been preparation to this fight. So it's all part of a process, and I think I'm doing well.
Now, you mentioned this little bit of a winning run you're on. The last bout against Kamil Sokolowski, you was knocked down. Against the journeyman, Kamil is somebody who's actually got a very much a tougher opponent than what people give him credit for. He knocked out Nick Webb, who Dave had to knock out in a fight which people had Nick winning. You know, was you surprised when Kamil knocked you down?
It wasn't so much of a knockdown as it was, I basically lost balance. I leant on the one side, he hit me with a jab at the perfect time, and I lost my balance and fell over. So it wasn't a flash knockdown or anything like that, but I did fall, yes. He was exactly what I thought he was going to be. He's a nice, hard man, and it was a great preparation for the Dave Allen fight. So for me, it was everything we expected, and I thought it was great preparation.
Over social media, people were saying they thought Kamil won. Did you think that was fair, or did you think that was harsh and you felt you was victorious?
I won flying colours, yeah, no problems at all.
And obviously the big news at the minute, Jarrell Miller failing his drugs test. What were your thoughts when you heard that?
Just stupidity, basically. He's got the shot of a lifetime. Money aside, it's obviously the world titles and everything else, and he ruins it. So it's just silly from his part.
He's released a post over social media saying that he's never knowingly taken any form of a drug before. It seems to be whenever someone does do that, they always say they don't knowingly do it. Do you believe Jarrell in this case?
I think there can be a case of that. I was stupid enough to have a pre-workout that had stuff in it, but that was my stupidity, you know what I mean? So I didn't knowingly take it, but I wasn't smart enough to sort of look into it either. So I think it can be the case, but at the same time, you are responsible for what goes in your body.
Something I was going to say, obviously you're someone who had been banned previously for drugs. So do you sympathise with Jarrell, or are you a bit more on you deserve your punishment now?
With the amount of times it's happened, I think by now people should be well and truly aware of what goes on. So no.
So what type of punishments would you like to see boxers given if they was to call out at this stage?
It also depends on what it is. So some people, like a pre-workout is totally different to full-blown anabolic steroids, so to speak. So it does depend on the case, so it's hard to say.
So Jarrell was done for Endurable, which is supposed to enhance your endurance during a fight. Obviously we've seen Jarrell, who's someone who likes to come forwards, trying to work your opponent down and eventually get him out of there. Can you see now that link to his performances in the sense that the extra endurance that it would provide him benefiting him?
especially being such a big boy as well. Like he's a massive, 140 something kilos, so he's a big boy. So yes, I understand that. Yeah.
And finally, if Eddie was to come and say to you, obviously if you were successful on Saturday night, the fight's there in 6 weeks' time, would you be interested?
100%. Like you'd be silly not to. So I'd 100% be ready for it. Yeah.
Well, Lucas, I know you've got other people waiting to speak to you, so as always, it's been a pleasure to catch up with you. Thank you for speaking to Boxing Social.
Appreciate it. Thank you.